Čisto malo oko white hydrogena. White hydrogen ime smo dali zato što jednostavno stari materijal, otpadni materijal, otpadna plastika, damo neku novu šansu za neki novi život. To je onda pravo recikliranje materijala. Znači gdje je otpad pretvaramo u nešto korisno, to je vodik kao energija ili bude to struja ili toplina ili metan ili sve ono ostalo. Zbog toga smo rekli da je to white hydrogen. A u stvari trebalo bi da bude zapravo ono što je tehnički pravo je tirkizni hydrogen. Čisto oko toga. Sad, dobrodošli na ovom skupu. Malo ću vas prošetati kroz priču toga što se u svijetu dešava. So, let's see what is actually the problem that we are facing today. We have two big problems, right? One is the energy crisis, the other is pollution. Everybody's speaking climate change. We're going to fight climate change things, and these steps are very, very slow. They take years, if not decades, to get there, right? And this is what you see here is how we solve problem in Europe. So we export plastics to Philippines and to Indonesia. They ended up in the villages. This is the way we solve problems and clean it. And here you see Indonesia. And lots of microplastic and everything else ends up in the seaside, right? If this is true, right, we can see it here. Recycling efforts not enough to solve the problem. Here you can see the stuff, 49 to 50% of all the plastic is just plastic waste. This is the area that we are addressing with our technology. This is the area we are talking about. This is recyclable, and if you are looking correctly, from 9 to 17% in next 40 years. So in order to double the recycling effort, we are going to spend 40 long years. And here is something that we don't manage at all. This is something that we are managed badly. We don't know how to do that properly. And this is what ends in a forest, on the landfills, and in the streets, and finally in the seaside. And this is the part we are burning. And see, from 19 to 18%, it stays the same. And the population number, if you are looking here for the future, 2060, I'm sure it's going to be close to 12 billion people. See, this is why these numbers speak for themselves. This is why I want you to see that hydrogen business is not a buzzword. It is the future. According to some estimations, 25% of all the hydrogen, of all the energy, is going to be hydrogen-based here in this decade. 25% of all the energy. And currently, we are now close to 1%, maybe 2% hydrogen of all the energy. So imagine the potential that we are presenting here today. Just to set the stage for Doctor to get you into the details, right? Now, we cannot, of course, evade or escape pollution problem. If we go and try to understand it the right way, we see these curves. If we fight climate change and stay below 1.8 degrees, or go higher and higher than 2.3, you see what are the energy needs and how the energy consumption climbs from here up there. 22,000 terawatt hours. Those guys from energy sector, they quickly understand that this is enormous amounts of energy we're talking about. And this is not just ordinary hockey stick, it's a right hockey stick, as we call it in business. Right? Development is ahead of us. And we are only here, 2024, just down there. Now, you see here various scenarios for demand. And it depends on companies that present this story, right? You see Shell is here, and they say 2050, 194 million tons of hydrogen needed. Then you go to Hydrogen Council that says 2050, 567 million tons of hydrogen needed. How can it be that these guys that are producing fossil fuels don't see potential that is 3 times bigger than theirs? Because they hope and believe that we are going to stay fossil. The truth is most likely be somewhere in between. Say, these guys say 290, they say 700,000. It depends who's preparing this material. But one thing is sure. Energy need is going to be bigger and bigger, not because we are wasting energy, we learn to reduce energy, but the energy consumption for the sake of population growth and techniques, technology is going to be bigger. And we don't want to give up our comfort. Let's be honest with ourselves. Okay? These are things that go hand in hand. Now, here you can see what's the biggest market for hydrogen, green hydrogen. Northern hemisphere, right? Europe, then you have Northern America, and then you have parts of Asia. Truth is, in China, you've got some big resources of hydrogen coming from coal or gas. They go that direction. Europe, whereas is different, it goes green direction. And Dr. Gruber is now later going to explain how can you come from green, from gray to green pretty much easily. You have to do the trick which is capture CO2 and treat it correctly. We are going to learn that later on, okay? Now you see here, this is Oceania. This is the, according to some estimations, the fastest growing region. They invest enormous amounts of money, as we are going to see here on this slide. The next one, this one. Here you see areas where people invest most in green hydrogen. Oceania, Latam, North America, and Europe, right? And the rest, China, rest of Asia, here's the place that you can see how is green hydrogen getting promoted there. And this is why you have some geopolitical tensions, why you have, I'm not willing to enter this political spat, left, right is not appropriate to speak here, but geopolitics is going to play an enormous role in the future. Enormous role. This is what is changing the world. And hydrogen is the future, that's for sure. If it is preseen that it's going to take 25% market share in whole energy 2050, 2060, whatever sort of hydrogen, then there is a future. Okay, let's get back to this one. Now this is the current situation that we have 700 megawatts of capacities. Then you see here 1,700 refueling stations, and most of them are in Europe, some of them in Asia developing. Japan is very, very strong, as we are going to see later, which country does the best in the sense of developing hydrogen story, right? And those are vehicles, 80,000 vehicles is being placed in place this year until now, 22% bigger, 30% bigger than last year. This is total amount of hydrogen vehicles. Some would say, well, where is the future then of hydrogen? There is. We're going to see later on. Now, as you can see again here, we are here. So at the beginning of growth, and the growth, major growth is going to present here. This is where boom is going to take place. Now, these are projects that are announced. This is in planning, and this is committed. See? This is what is committed, and these are small percentages. But in planning, it's a huge stuff. where you can see here and here, you see the difference, 20x or 30x. There are not many industries where you can say, okay, this is huge growth. It is. When somebody tells me as a crypto guy, we are going 20x, I say, well, that's nice, not bad. If I look at some other revenue stream or some other profitabilities, then this is definitely the story. Now, what we have here is announcement 57 gigawatt in 2030, and 70% is focused on 3 regions: Europe, Latin America, and Oceania, as mentioned before. So you see where investors recognize opportunities, and this is where investors are going. Now we are talking about smart money, so these are huge fund managers that are investing in this. This is not investable for hedge funds or some others, but fund managers that are investing in real business, because it's not speculation, right? Most of it not. Now you see the capacities of electrolysis, 2030, 80 gigawatts or bigger. That's huge. If we are looking to this, where we are standing now, this, see, below, look at this, 20, 22, and now we have 80 gigawatts only in Europe. So Europe is betting big on electrolysis, and Dr. will help us understand where the difference is between this technology and that technology, and where are advantages and disadvantages of one and the other. All right. This one with it. Here you see solution refueling stations. Why? If we don't have the infrastructure, we cannot go with the projects. But then same story was with electric vehicles 20, 30 years back. Right? They didn't have the filling stations for, and still you had some cars running around, right? Electric cars. And this is the change. You guys that are sitting here right now are pioneers to some extent in this field. You can say that to yourself easily, because this is what you are. We've seen in every single chart that we saw till now, we saw that we are the very beginning of this development of this industry. And especially if you bear in mind that we are attacking the biggest problem, plastic waste that is dumped on the landfill. All right? For whatever you do else with hydrogen production, you have to invest in order to get something. But here, you just collect and get something. And that makes a difference, okay? But again, in total world, 1,700 filling stations around the globe. One could say easily that's nothing. Well, we might be cynical and say that's nothing, but everything begins with first step. Even though that's small, it's not important, but we have to push it. The most important thing is that we recognized the opportunity, and now we go in that direction, okay? And now finally, how countries do around the globe with concern to hydrogen. You see lots of this orange with Australia, then Japan, South Korea, and over in Europe, Portugal and Spain. The rest is getting closer. And these guys, they are front runners. They know what they are doing, and they are really fast. Japan is moving like a juggernaut at the moment, and some other countries as well. And now in Croatia, this is one of the European pearls where actually at the top level of the politics, they recognize hydrogen is a big opportunity. And for them, this is a strategic and national importance. And this is what sets them apart from some others. And I'm really, really glad that they gave us the opportunity to work cross-border. As you see here, cross-border cooperation, Germany is working with almost everybody. Why? Because Tunisia and Nigeria, they will get their hydrogen from those areas, right? They will produce their hydrogen there and transport it to Germany. And for Germany, I learned this year in January on this hydrogen forum in Berlin that they will almost always be importers of hydrogen. There is no way they would produce enough hydrogen in next, say, 20, 30 years. Such a big of demand they have for hydrogen, right? And this is the opportunity for us. Now, there are some nice stories that are in development. Croatia, Slovenia, Italy formed Hydrogen Valley. And I'm really glad for members and a representative from these boards to come over, because they are playing important part of building the infrastructure in these countries to set the stage for hydrogen business development. And this is what they do. And we all are taking part in this bigger picture, right? That should be done. And we should always remember this cross-border cooperation is extremely important. And then you have hydrogen clusters inside countries. Why? Because there's no way that one company could manage the whole thing or be up to the task to do it the right way. It's impossible. So we need different skills, different companies. We need local communities. I'm glad that some distinguished members of local communities are here among us. So this is extremely important. It's not just lobbying, it's more than that. It's understanding the future, and then we can push it in the right way. There is no other way to do it the right way, okay? And then starting point, we picked up Croatia. Why? Because it's been a very, very promising location. We got full support there. And I'm really proud that we picked the point where we got really people that embrace the project and are pushing the project with us together. So the main difference I see between one project going through and the other failing is that this one that's going through got enough support around. If you don't have the support, generally, project might be perfect, but will end up in some drawer. Now, let's us end with this one. Toyota CEO, the guy that just took over Toyota company, and you know that Toyota is unbeatable in hybrid engines, right? They're just unbeatable. Nobody's better than they are, and this is going to be and stay for years to come. But Toyota, together with Yamaha engines, they're now going combustion engine on hydrogen, and they will reshuffle the cards. And I will let you with video. I'm not going to spend time now. I'll let you the video to see it through yourself, and you will see if the guy from one of the third biggest automotive companies in the world is saying this, well, then at least we should pay attention. And by this, I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.